Murray Field in Regina, at least at this particular park. We're also using Optimus Park, about 15, 20 minutes away. And for the defending champion, Dan Esty, they're hoping to rebound from a somewhat controversial, at least the ending, a 4-3 setback in the game's first of the day to Saskatchewan by a count of 4-3.
Yeah, that was a bit of a controversial ending for sure. Quebec obviously not happy with the outcome of that one, but in the end, it's in the books as a 4-3 win for Team Saskatchewan, and now they have to rebound here as they come back and now have a matchup against Team British Columbia in this game here. Meanwhile, over at Optimus, as Peter was just talking about, it is Team Alberta taking on Team Ontario in that game.
The Victoria Mavericks make up a majority of this Team BC, and their starting pitcher is 26-year-old Fynn Chester. He spent 2 seasons in NCAA Division I at Cal State Fullerton. And you generally don't pitch at a Division I school if you don't have a little something in your bag of tricks, as he fires a ball outside to the leadoff batter, Jonathan Martin, who played in right primarily earlier today in the loss to Saskatchewan. Today he'll start at first. He was 2 for 4 in Quebec's opening game earlier today.
For sure, and I mean this Team Quebec team is going to be hungry at the dish, and just from watching the first few pitches here from Fynn Chester, it seems like a very plus fastball type of pitcher. We'll see what he has off speed wise as we're going to learn about this Team British Columbia as all the fans do here as they're following. But this should be a great game of baseball, and already it looks like it's going to be a very competitive matchup.
Chester pitched 7 innings for the Mavericks at the recently completed BC Provincial Championship. Gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, struck out 4, and walked 1. As Team British Columbia makes their 2025 Canadian Senior Men's Baseball debut. On the ground, a tester for the shortstop, Jason Willow. He'll dive but won't get there. And Jonathan Martin continues his fine day at the plate. That's his 3rd hit already of this Thursday.
We'll see here on the replay. Good piece of hitting by Martin with 2 strikes. Keeps the hands back. Drives that ball to left field just past a diving Jason Willow at shortstop. And Team Quebec has their leadoff man aboard here in the top of the first.
Trois-Rivières product, center fielder Raphael Gladieux, the 30-year-old. He was 1 for 3 in the loss to Saskatchewan with a double in that game. On the year in the Quebec Senior League, .521 for an average, 11 doubles, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. That batting average at .511, believe it or not, is tied for 4th. You'd think it would be first.
And I'm sure as the maker of a few broken hearts here in Regina as well 2 years ago when he hit a walk-off home run in the gold medal game in Red Deer. So, name that's very familiar to a few Regina Trappers anyway.
He was a one-time draft pick of the New York Mets back in 2017, selected in the 16th round. Played independent baseball last year in the Frontier League. And had an excellent college career, did Gladieux, at Louisiana Tech, where he hit .378 in his final season. Outside of that, I don't have much. On the move, hit and run, and you can't execute it any better. Perfectly done by Gladieux.
Just a great piece of hitting there by Raphael Gladieux. We'll have a peek here in a second as the boys get the highlight together in the barn, but just hands back and can't even throw that into a better spot right there as that goes into left center field. And Quebec challenging already here as they have runners on the corners and nobody out with Moises Perez coming to the dish.
Well, their game ended very controversially. They had the tying run in scoring position with Gladieux up at home plate. and he felt like he fouled the ball. At first, in fact, we were looking more at the foot, but we had a couple of chances to take a peek when the game was over, and it looked like it may have glanced off of his thigh. He did not move coming out of the batter's box until it became apparent to him, Dan, that he had no choice.
Right. And those are, you know what, without replay, without, you know, all the bells and whistles that you get at a Major League Baseball level, that's a very tough call to make, and, you know, one in real time that, you know, you have to make as an umpire. And, you know, unfortunately it didn't go the way of Quebec there, but in the end, you know, here we are back here now, and we got a new game to talk about.
And further to that point, even on the replay, it wasn't exactly easy. Moises Perez hits into a double play. Nicely executed by the combination of second baseman Jared Campbell and Jason Willow. And the run scores, but it may very well keep Team BC out of a big first inning.
For sure, big double play there to kind of pick up their pitcher. Quebec gets on the board early in this one now, as we're going to see here on the replay with Perez at the plate. Taylor made 4-6-3 double play ball for BC, but good news for Quebec is they grab an early 1-0 lead in this game.
As it scores, Jonathan Martin, who singled to open the game from third. But two away as Chester works to Michel Dagenet. Behind home plate is Scott Mills from Saskatchewan. Tyler Hoffman of British Columbia at first. Steve Cochran of Ontario works at third in the three-person system. As Chester with a big double play ball early in the inning for Team BC. Dagenet's 28. Had a spectacular Canadian championship last year in Tecumseh, Ontario. He went 10 for 23. 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Believe he did have the one hit in the game against Team Saskatchewan earlier today. I'll have to double check that.
He did, yes. He had a single in that game and then reached on an error as well.
This one, a major league pop-up, and with this wind, it's an adventure. And it falls in. That one was a mile in the air, and with this very strong wind basically blowing to left center, I knew this was going to be an issue.
Not your conventional double on that play, but that one, as Peter said, hit a mile high, and our camera guy having a hard time finding it. And as we see, it just comes down inside the third base line fair, and Michel Dagenet now stands on second base with 2 outs for third baseman Josue Pelé.
All right, here we go, boys.
Pelé was 1 for 3 in the loss to Saskatchewan earlier today. All 10 teams on one day of the round robin will play 2 times. This is Quebec's day to do so. As Chester, a fastball on the outer portion of the plate.
As you can probably hear through our broadcast this game, we do have home plate umpire Scott Mills mic'd up.
Thank you to Scott very much, and for Baseball Canada and their officiating crew for allowing us to bring you that.
Absolutely.
To center field towards Dylan Price. And he stays with it to record the out. A run for Quebec in the top of the first. We'll take a look at the BC lineup for the first time here and the defense of Quebec when we return on day 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Left-hander Felix Cote, who pitches for Acton Vale in the Quebec Senior League, gets the ball. The left-hander. And facing catcher, Jon Gale leading things off for Team BC. The majority of their players are Victoria Mavericks. Jon is 26 years of age, and he's going to deliver Team BC's first base hit. And has a big turn, but will hang on at first base.
And again, we talked about getting out of the gates early, and catcher Jon Gale able to get a hold of a Felix Cote fastball and drive it into right center field, and the leadoff man aboard here for the Victoria Mavericks in the bottom of the first inning.
What kind of scouting report can you give me on the left-hander?
Felix has had a pretty good year in the LBMQ. As we said, pitches for Acton Vale. One of their kind of what I would call their big three, with him as well as David Gauthier and Marcos Encarnacion that make up a good portion of their rotation. But solid innings, good fastball, good off-speed stuff. And I definitely foresee him challenging today and giving the Team Quebec team a good outing here.
Facing 26-year-old shortstop Jason Willow. Up the middle, step on second, and a throw for a double play. Nicely done by Ryan Bauart, who starts this game at shortstop. We saw Tristan Aspect in the game against Saskatchewan.
And I can tell you from watching so far, they seem to be in pretty good hands with shortstops right now, as Tristan Aspect had an excellent game defensively for Team Quebec in Game 1. And Ryan Bauart of the Big Bill Dakota Cook picking right up where he left off, and has a 6-3 double play there for the first two outs here in the bottom of the first.
Breaking ball away from 24-year-old Josh Walker, who went 5 for 13 at the BC Provincial with 2 doubles, a home run, and 3 runs batted in. His big game was a 3 for 4 outing against Ladysmith on August the 4th. Doubled, homered, and drove in 2. This one, no trouble for Leonardo Ochoa. So a double play for both teams in the first inning defensively, but it's Quebec who leads Team BC 1-0 after 1 here at Curry Field in Regina. One to nothing, Team Quebec in their second game of the day. They fell 4-3 to Team Saskatchewan in an upset. Quebec, the reigning two-time Canadian senior men's champions, as we began the day here in Regina. 35-year-old Leonardo Ochoa, the second baseman, 1 for 3 in the team's opening game earlier today. Fynn Chester climbed the ladder a little bit, and the pitcher shovels over to get Ochoa.
Nice job there by Fynn Chester, defending his position on the field.
Our first look at Alexandre Lapointe, the 24-year-old from St. Hyacinthe, Quebec, batting just a mere .451 this year with Drummondville. And you know I'm being sarcastic. On the ground, Jer Campbell, and very quickly, Fynn Chester sits down the first two Quebec hitters he faces in inning number 2.
And as a pitcher, that's what you're looking for right there. He had a little bit of a short inning in the first inning, and you want to get your guys right back on the sticks and going here. And with 3 pitches, he has 2 outs now.
Catcher, Guillaume Morin, he came into the game as a pinch hitter against Team Saskatchewan late, went 0 for 1. He is from Brassard, Quebec, and looks at a fastball for a strike. Morin hitting .291 this year for Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, has homered and driven in 12. He helped Quebec win the 2023 Canadian Championship. Jason Willow, a former member of Canada's U18 team, executes nicely. A quick 1-2-3 goes Quebec in the second. Team BC set to bat when we return on day 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship here in Regina. For the second, the turn by Ballwart, and Quebec playing some fine defense behind Felix Cote. They have their second double play of the game. This one, 3-6 to begin it.
Pretty smooth play there from first baseman Jonathan Martin as he makes the play at first. Flips on to the shortstop, Ballwart. Ballwart back to Martin, and that completes the 3-6-3 double play. And we got a pair of outs here now in the home half of the second inning.
And the thing I loved about it, there was not an ounce of indecision by Martin. He knew exactly where he was going the minute he got the ball.
And he's one of those defensive players, you know, we said he played the outfield game one, he's playing first base, now he's a pitcher. Like, he's just a kind of a jack of all trades that can do everything for a team when he plays on them.
It's what I would say is, Jonathan Martin, you're a baseball player.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think you know what I mean by that reference.
100%.
26-year-old Nick Lee on the ground at Chester for Ballwart, who had to deal with a big hop, and Martin can't come up with that throw. Did everything he could. Played it well, found the corner of the bag, the back corner, tried to stretch out, but couldn't quite come up with it.
We'll have a peek at it here in our replay as Ballwart makes a good play there, going deep in the hole. Strong thrower to the bag, but just sails a bit to the left. So that's going to be a throwing error there on the shortstop, Ballwart. And BC has a runner here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
On the lineup card, it says Jer Campbell. I think officially it's Jeremy, the 33-year-old. I'm going to go with Jeremy, just because I think Mom and Dad might prefer that. He probably doesn't. At some point, somebody will tell me what they prefer, and then they win. That's how I've always kind of conducted my broadcasting business.
Officially on the roster is Jeremy.
Yes, that's what it is. On the very warm iPad, 4 for 11 was Jeremy at the BC Provincial Championship. Good movement on that pitch from Cote that missed inside. Maybe he has played in more than just this one, but I know that Jeremy played in the 2017 Canadian Championships.
Mm-hmm.
That is one that showed up in the research.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll look after you because you look after me. That's how it goes with the catcher.
That is awesome stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
What a great little addition. You look after me, I'll look after you.
100%. And there's always that, you know what, like with umpires and catchers, there's always that kind of etiquette that they say in baseball that, you know, the umpire gets hit, catcher goes for a walk, and umpire will do the same thing if catcher wears one, and you know, we're always good that way.
I think Scott Mills is one of the perfect guys to do this, too. He's a very animated guy, right into it, loves his craft, as they all do. As Jeremy Campbell fouls that down the third base side. Playing at second base for this Team BC, made up majority of Victoria Mavericks, who had a successful provincial championship. Cote misses away, and now there are 2 runners aboard with 2 outs here in the second. British Columbia, the home team in this game. And the batter is designated hitter Lance Burrows. And Lance is arguably the oldest player in the event. I believe he's 48.
Oh, wow.
Now, we're going to have to check that, but I have him at 48. And had a big cut. He was 0 for 2
2 strikes
at the provincial championships. He played for Victoria in the 2018 Nationals.
That would be accurate, a 1977 birthday.
And
6 older than me, being 42.
Oh, yeah, I remember 42. Well, it wasn't yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's right. This year will be 42 in some form of broadcast booth.
Wow. I think this is year 4 for me.
Well, you're doing very well. As Cote misses out to Lance Burrows. Our terrific producer, Clark Monroe, said, I don't sound a day over 41. Once again, Clark, thank you. There would be another adjective or two, but I think I'll save it. And what I am thinking about right now is, and I know it's a different sport, and you probably get in trouble for even mentioning it, but there was an incredible fast-pitch softball catcher from Victoria named Bob Burrows, and he would be about the right age to have a 48-year-old son, or maybe even, probably son. Anyway, we'll check that out later. I don't have to check this out. I sound 41, and Burrows just struck out, and the second. It's also 1-0 Quebec after 2. 24-year-old Team Quebec shortstop Brian Bawart, the batter, hitting .383 in the Quebec League at Cook. 7 doubles, 2 home runs, and 19 runs batted in. And he's already been fairly busy, Dan, at shortstop in this game.
Absolutely, as was Tristan Aspect, who played there in the first game for Team Quebec. A little bit of a slip there that inning for him as he had a little bit of a wide throw, but outside of that, both these young players have been excellent at that position.
Fynn Chester continues to work. This will blow foul or swerve foul. It is a very windy day, and that trend is supposed to continue again tomorrow.
Yeah, she's warm, she's sunny, but there's a lot of wind.
Yeah, as my son used to say when he was little, too many wind, Dad. Too many wind. And I thought he was just talking about how much that I speak. And he might have a point. Yeah, too many wind.
Our main guy, Mopper, coming in with a box for Peter's iPad here. Keep him cool.
What a beautiful thing. Great help everywhere here at the Canadian Senior Men's National Championship in Regina. Bawart, this will probably blow back towards left field, and it almost was overrun out there by Nick Lee.
That wind gave that one some tail.
Yeah, it's tricky out there, and you see the outfielders talking to each other now as we head to the replay for this one. Good piece by Bawart. So he puts a charge into that one to left field and kind of takes a step in and then has to take a couple of quick steps back and a big reach there, but able to haul that one in for the first out here in the top half of the third inning.
Jonathan Martin is singled. He's 3 for 5 in the tournament in Quebec's second game. He crossed home plate when Fynn Chester induced Moises Perez to hit into a 4-6-3 double play, or Quebec might have really jumped out in a big way in the first. Since then, the former star at Cal State Fullerton has really settled in. Dan, I don't think he threw more than 10 pitches in the last half inning to get 3 outs.
No, he had 2 of those outs on 4 pitches, and then had the last batter that he faced there that he needed a few pitches to get out. But no, very conservative that inning, and obviously he's going to look forward to continuing that trend here as we keep going in this one.
Martin homered 3 times at last year's Canadian Championship in Tecumseh, drove in 5.
One of those was an absolute tape measure shot at Lacasse Park.
He homered in games against New Brunswick, Manitoba, and the host Tecumseh team.
That one against the host was in the semifinals of that tournament.
And the only loss for the host team.
Yes. Yep. Perfect through pool play and almost came back and stunned Quebec in that game too, but dropped a 5-4 game in 9 innings.
So all 10 teams is Fynn Chester. A breaking ball swung on and missed, and Chester has his first strikeout of the afternoon to get a very good hitter in Jonathan Martin.
Get a look at this pitch here. Looks like a big curveball there that Martin swings through and comes up empty on for first strikeout of the game for Fynn Chester in the second out here in the top of the third inning.
Well, he gave up 3 hits, and there's a bit of an asterisk because the Michel Dagenet hit was a pop-up that might still be up there and wind blown and fell fairly in behind third.
I have it down as a double to the gap.
I bet you do. Glad you with a base hit. So 3 of the first 4 hitters with base hits. And now Fynn Chester really trying to settle in. And works ahead of the 30-year-old outfielder. Looked like he came open on that delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Hard throwing right-hander, Fynn Chester. It's a good name, too.
That is a good name. Fynn spelled differently, F-Y-N-N. Yeah.
This one in the air again.
Wow, look at the hook
towards
on
Nick Lee. Look at the hook on it is right. And Dan, there is nothing easy today about any ball in the air anywhere.
You get it up close to the top of those lights, and it's certainly going to be a tough day as Graf Gladue hit that one towards the 384 sign in left center, and that ended up almost sailing over the head of the left fielder again, and catch was made, though, for the third out here in the inning.
Another 1-2-3 inning for Fynn Chester and Team BC. They'll come to bat when we return to Curry Field in Regina.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
1-0, Quebec in front of Team BC. It's the tournament opener for the guys from British Columbia. It's game 2 for the 2-time reigning champions from Quebec. Dylan Price flies to right, and Moises Perez settles under it quickly. There's one down.
Well, we got a quick break here. We do have an update from the other game happening over at Optimus right now. They are in the 3rd inning, I believe. Team Alberta leads that game by a score of 3-2 over Team Ontario, the Leaside Leafs. So we'll keep tabs on that game for you too.
Leaside fell in their opening game to Team Manitoba earlier today.
They did by a score of 12-2.
Manitoba's put together a nice collection.
Yes, they have another strong team again. I believe it was Hatley, one of their big pitchers, that threw that game for Manitoba.
Jon Gale, the catcher, singled off of Felix Cote. His first time at bat in the game.
3-0.
Finds himself ahead here, 3-0 in this count.
And on 4 pitches, Gale's on base for a second time. I think we're going to have ourselves a whale of a tournament, my friend.
Should be some great baseball going forward. And I mean, this is, we're 3 games in and 2 going on right now. And going to be another barn burner tonight, I'm sure, with Team Nova Scotia and the Regina Trappers.
Jonathan Martin calls it to retire. Former Team Canada World Junior shortstop, Jason Willow.
We talked about working ahead in counts, and, you know, any pitcher in this tournament's going to take that for an out when you get 1 pitch and 1 out, and especially on a little pop fly here on the infield. So good work there by Cote. He's able to retire Willow.
Right fielder Josh Walker. You know, Jon Gale is a potential threat to steal. He's the leadoff batter, and you don't see a lot of catchers in leadoff spots.
Not too often, no.
Although times are a-changing, Mr. Esty.
They
times are a-changing.
They are, for sure.
Walker fouls this down the left field side, and
Thought you were going to make the catch there, Clark, but just over top of you guys.
looks like the trailer, despite the wind, is in a little more stable of a spot. Apparently it was shaken pretty good in the IKS trailer down the third base side earlier.
What?
Great setup they have for us here. As Cote misses with a breaking ball, down and away.
Good waste pitch there by Cote. Slider that's down and away. Good block there by Guillaume Morin. He's able to keep that one in front.
Walker spent a couple of years at the University of Mary, which is in Bismarck, North Dakota. And a swing and a miss is Cote with his second strikeout. And it remains 1-0 Quebec. 3 in the books here on day 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. 44, Fynn Chester has retired the last 7 straight Quebec hitters that he has faced. He'll deal with Moises Perez, the left fielder. And his at-bat, Dan, in some ways, set the tone for the game. It did end up scoring a run, but it was a double play when Quebec, you had that feel early in the game that they might like to run away and hide early if they could.
For sure, and I mean, after that tough one this morning, they were set up for a big inning there as Perez swings and misses at that one for strike 1. But, that's a big double play of 4-6-3, and, you get the run across, you get the 2 outs instead, and kind of put a damper on that rally. But so far, that 1 run stands as Quebec leads 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Perez, a diving try by Willow, just eluded him, and Moises Perez, who had 2 hits earlier today in the loss to Saskatchewan, has his 3rd hit of the Canadian Championships.
Good fastball there from Fynn Chester, and as you see on the replay there, just out of the reach of Jason Willow at shortstop. With Perez reaching here, that is I believe the 3rd hit that Fynn Chester's given up now in his 3 innings of work so far. Is the 1 earned run. No walks, 1 strikeout so far through 3 innings, so Team Quebec going to look to try and get something going here with big bopper Michel Dagenet stepping in now, the DH.
Who had an infield pop-up double. Runner on the move.
Held back out of play there, but Moises Perez had some jump at first base. Wow.
Did he ever. He was about 3/4 of the way down by the time the ball got to home plate. Although I must say, getting quite difficult in the booth at this time with where the sun is to see the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Play.
We're doing our best here. I have my towel out trying to keep the reflection down off the metal.
Dan's got every single thing you would ever need. I do not.
Don't worry, though. I'm sharing.
Yep, he is sharing. He's got plug-ins. He's got phone chargers. Might have an isosceles triangle somewhere in there if you really needed one.
No, I'd have to look in there.
I don't know if you'd need one. You are a teacher, though, so...
that is true.
Right? So maybe at some point an isosceles triangle might have been important to you.
School is just around the corner, believe it or not.
Sorry about that. Michel Dagenet, the batter facing Chester. There goes Perez. Will he make the turn? He didn't know. He went diving in to first. He was very likely going to steal it regardless because of the great jump that he had again, even if that ball didn't get by Jon Gale, the catcher.
We get a look here on the replay. Very good jump again by Perez, and obviously didn't hear his teammates yelling at him. It's kind of hard when you're running like that, but yeah, that ball gets away from Gale and probably got a bit of a turn there, but you're right, probably ends up staying at second, and now Dagenet has a chance to cash a run in here.
He drove in 5 of them at last year's Canadian Championships. This one, terrific diving play by Jeremy Campbell.
Absolutely, that's going to be a great one to go back and look at here in a second, but Jeremy Campbell definitely saved a run there for the time being anyway, as he goes all out to keep that ball on the infield. Good piece there by Dagenet, but great diving play in the hole there by Campbell as he gets up and fires to first baseman Nick Siginowicz.
Some kind of play by Campbell. And now the infield in to face Josue Pelli. Right at the third baseman, kicks it around to the pitcher. Chester is going to come home, but unable to get Perez, who looks like he's shaken up, involved in a bit of a collision with catcher Jon Gale.
I'm going to assume the scoring on that play is going to be an E5, as he looked like he was about to come up with the ball clean, as we see here in the replay, and just kind of squirts out of his glove. I don't know if it hit the eject button there, but Moises Perez felt it was far enough for him to be able to score and just able to slide in ahead of the throw, getting to the plate from the pitcher Fynn Chester, and Quebec grabs a 2-0 lead here now in the top of the 4th.
John, at every level, in those kind of situations, and that's why putting pressure on the defense is so important. You have one eye on the runner, and all it takes is a little peek.
That's it. You know, you take that eye off that ball just for that split second, and just like that, you know, a ball pops out of your glove, or, you know, just an errant throw or anything like that happens, and you see there, like, you know, great base running by Moises Perez as he's able to read that play fast enough to be able to get across the plate.
This one lifted high and deep by Leonardo Ochoa, and it is gone. Just kept carrying in the wind. And a 2-run homer by Leonardo Ochoa has added to the Quebec advantage. It's 4-0.
It's amazing the difference a day makes here at this park where, like I said, nothing was carrying to left field yesterday at all. And now today you see everything slicing hard that way because of the wind, and you're going to see here in the replay, Ochoa gets a very good swing on that pitch, puts a charge into that one, and the left fielder, Nick Lee, runs out of room, and that is a 2-run bomb to left field.
Leonardo Ochoa, who had 9 home runs in league play and 38 runs batted in to lead everyone in that category in the Quebec League, has just gone deep. Here are the Canadian Championships. And with 3 quick runs, 1-0 has turned into 4 for the defending champions.
Getting some very well-deserved high fives there, as you saw from our dugout cam before.
Alexandre Lapointe. Lapointe for a more anglicized version. 24-year-old from St. Hyacinthe. Good sports community. Talking about St. Hyacinthe, so is Drummondville, where he has hit .451 this season. So Quebec has broken it open here in inning number 4, and Leonardo Ochoa's 2-run blast kind of feels like it's taken a bit of a pin to a balloon all of a sudden.
And we kind of talked about it this morning, you know, good on Saskatchewan left-hander Rhett Fesser, who certainly did everything he could to tame these bats as Lapointe takes strike 3 looking for the second out here in the inning. But, you know, this is how dangerous this Quebec offense can be, and just like that, you know, like you said, a 1-run lead turns into a 4-run lead just like that.
Guillaume Morin goes through his ritual, draws a couple of lines in the batter's box. Guillaume grounded out to shortstop Jason Willow in inning number 2. So Fynn Chester, who gave up a 2-run shot, came right back with a strikeout. And that shows a lot of composure to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's always tough. You know, you give up a few runs, and, you know, obviously as a pitcher, it gets your spirits down a bit, but you have to keep battling and trust that your offense is going to be able to get things together here for you in the next half inning.
So 3 in and 2 down with the catcher Moran at home plate. Quebec trying to even its round-robin record to 1-1, playing their doubleheader day. Not officially a doubleheader day because you have to play 2 in a row to really call it a doubleheader, but their day where they play 2 games. And all 10 teams will have to do that at one point. And Chester with a quality fastball to get Guillaume Morin. The home plate umpire asking for 4 balls. Team BC down 4 runs, heading to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Regina. 3 runs in the top of the 4th inning, including 2 off the bat of Leonardo Ochoa. A home run to left field has expanded the Quebec advantage in their second game here in Regina to 4-0 over a young Team BC crew. Nick Saginowicz, the batter. And Felix Cote missed with ball 1. Saginowicz, 27 years of age. Played at Angelo State University, hit .331 there in 2021. On comes Perez and made that look routine.
And again, we talked about it before. You see that catch made in right field, and just a complete flip-flop from the night that they had the home run derby here, where balls were just flying out of here left and right to right field, and anything hit that way today now just gets caught up in the wind and knocked down in a hurry.
You hit it the other way, you get a lot of help.
Bigger porch out that way, but yeah, you do get a lot of help to left field today.
Keegan Lott. Interesting home run distances here. It's 343 down the left field line, but it's only 309 down the right field line. What is this, old Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, they got the...
Although those are short porches in both directions.
Sure, I'll take it. Thank you.
Maybe all we need here is like pesky pole.
Yeah.
Because I think at Fenway it's like 314 down that line, if I remember correctly. Keegan Lott, the batter, former star at the University of British Columbia, and he goes down swinging.
Yeah, so we just heard, and I was just about to bring that up because I was told that by a couple of locals last night, that that wall in right field used to be twice the height.
It did.
And unfortunately, they took it down a few years ago, but yeah, it made it even harder to kind of get the ball out of here.
Yeah, in the years that I lived here, in the late 80s to midway through the 90s, working in radio and for the Regina Pats, during that time frame, spent a lot of time here, Dan, and yes, there was twice the amount of fence out there in that part of the ballpark.
And the interesting thing is, next year for our hosts, that's going to be on the Miramichi in New Brunswick. Their park has some very interesting dimensions as well, as they go 310 down the left field line, but have a green monster type fence all the way out to pretty much very close to center field, as that ball's hit into left field for a single by Nick Lee. But yeah, very interesting dimensions for sure, and I think teams will have a lot of fun at that park next year.
That'd be a great place to go. If you can't find good hospitality in that part of Canada, you're not looking very hard. 26-year-old Nick Lee aboard with a base hit. Second baseman Jeremy Campbell, Bauart, goes the short way. All of a sudden, Felix Cote has most certainly settled in, and he's got a 4-run lead in his pocket. That's the difference in the game after 4 here at the Canadian Senior Men's Championships in Regina. This is not the only game going on in the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. Dan, there's action right now at Optimus Park.
Absolutely. Second game of the day there. There was a game there at 10 a.m. this morning, but right now it is Team Alberta, the Calgary Rockies, taking on Team Ontario, the Leaside Leafs. And they are currently through 3 innings of play there as they start the top of the 4th inning. It is a 3-2 lead for Team Alberta in that game, so we'll keep tabs on that one for you as we're on the air here and watching our current game here at Currie Park between Team Quebec and Team British Columbia.
Quebec in their second game of the day, they were upset by Team Saskatchewan in Game 1 of the day. And now in front of Team BC 4-0 in their second game of the round robin. All 10 teams will play 4 round-robin games.
Very busy 3 days for all these teams as they try and work their way into the medal rounds, which starts Saturday night. Be 2 quarterfinal games, one here, one at Optimist, before we wrap up action on Sunday, which we'll see 4 games here at Currie Field.
Fynn Chester, who gave up a 2-run home run to Leonardo Ochoa in the last half inning, has responded very nicely. He's struck out the last 3 he's faced, including Ryan Bawart, to open the top of the 5th inning.
Pretty nasty looking pitch there. It came back over the inside corner, caught Bawart leaning there for strike 3 in the first out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Jonathan Martin, 1 for 2. He scored the game's first run in the leadoff spot. Played right field earlier today against Saskatchewan. And at first base in this game. And as Dan informed us, also pitches. Lifts this one high and well out of play.
Very good left-handed pitcher for the Jets de Montréal in the Ligue de Baseball Majeure de Québec.
You do that very well. Which is why I'm going to leave it to you all weekend.
That's the French side of me, coming out with my mother's side of the family being French.
Well, you are from the right part of the world to potentially be, in that position. I did really well with it in high school, and in all sincerity, I'm being completely serious. I wish I would have stayed with it. I really do.
That was my first teaching assignment. It was grade 8 French immersion. So
this is again in the direction of Nick Lee, who's been a busy guy out there in left field as he makes the play to retire Jonathan Martin. And it's been quite evident with the wind, and this will give you another view. Nothing is routine in that part of the field today.
Absolutely not. You can tell he took some notes on the last few that came out to him, but took a couple of steps back to get behind that one and able to rein in that fly ball for the second out here in the top of the 5th.
Raphael Gladue, the center fielder. You know what that was?
You hear very clearly from our home plate umpire, Scott Mills.
I absolutely dig it. He and I could be great friends. I don't know who would win the loud competition, but it'd be a heck of a showdown. Glad you 1 for 2 in the game.
Well, the thing you have in common is IKS gave you both a microphone this week.
Very well done by you. Chopper, Saginowicz, and Fynn Chester comes right back after giving up 3 with a tidy 1-2-3-5. But now, his BC mates need to get on the sticks. They trail by 4. Team Quebec has a very talented hitting lineup. Let's not take anything away from pitcher Felix Cote, who has thrown 4 shutout innings and believe he has only given up 2 hits in the game.
That's correct. 2 hits allowed through 4 innings so far for Felix. He has a pair of walks. He's punched out 3 Team BC batters.
48-year-old Lanny Burrows on cue has base hit number 3, and exactly what Team BC was looking for from what I believe is the oldest player, 48 years young in the competition.
Time. Pinch runner.
We're going to run for Burrows.
Yeah, 14 for 19.
Matthew Galbraith will come in to run, the 26-year-old from Victoria. Nice work by Burrows, and he'll get some low 5s and high 5s on his way back to the dugout. Dylan Price, the batter, the 27-year-old.
All right, we're good to go, boys. Here we are.
Played at one point at New Mexico Highlands University.
Ooh, that ball's
Hits that high, hard, deep, and gone. Dylan Price out of the number 9 spot in the lineup, and we've got ourselves a game again. It's 4-2.
Guess what Dylan was doing yesterday?
Taking part in the home run competition?
He might have been one of those guys.
Well, it just paid off.
He shows you why right there. Look at that. Nice compact swing through the zone. Gets a good piece of that Felix Cote fastball. That one out by quite a bit as they cut into the Quebec lead now 4-2.
So right after mentioning that Cote had only given up 2 hits, gives up 2 hits to begin the bottom of the 5th. And the one that hurts is the 2-run shot off the bat of Dylan Price. And how about this note? Dylan Price at the Provincial BC Championships was 0 for 14.
Wow. That's a good way to break out of it right there. Get your team back in their game here at the Canadians.
Is it ever? Jon Gale, the catcher, he has a hit today, and he's been on base twice. He walked in the 3rd. So the Mavericks, Team BC, needed something big. They just called on Dylan, and the price was right. Too easy. Had to use it at some point.
Absolutely.
You know, when somebody lobs you one in, you got to hit it. Or try to, in my case.
That's the softball right there.
Yeah, it sure is. I don't miss them. Miss a lot of things, but Martin stays with that high hop to retire. Jon Gale for the first out of the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Martin play the game today.
Yeah, he's one of the more solid players, and I'll tell you, just an all-around nice guy. I had a nice chat with him at the hotel, and you know, just a super human being to talk to.
Isn't that one of the best things about this kind of a competition is just how kind, appreciative the people at this level are?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, you know, doing what I've been doing for a few years now, it's kind of cool to see all aspects of the men's, both AAA and AA kind of baseball level across Canada and kind of the community that it's created now, which is kind of cool to see.
Well, and you deserve all the accolades for your incredibly hard work. You should see they're delivering this guy pizzas in between innings. They're bringing him everything. Stat packages, lineups. Peter, you just go about it on your own. You're okay. You got to earn your stripes, kid.
Ball 4.
And a walk issued by Cote as Jason Willow a 24th round pick of the Baltimore Orioles back in 2017, finds his way on base for the first time, which means it brings the tying run to the plate and a visit from the coach.
Nothing so far in the Quebec pen this game. Been pretty quiet down there, but I'm sure I see a few bodies starting to stir around here now in the bullpen or in the bench, so I'm sure we're going to see some bodies running down there in a minute. Coach taking his time at the mound there, making sure defense is calmed down, having a few words with left-hander Felix Cote. Looks like we're good to go. Everyone hustling back to the dish here.
This one seemed quite comfortable coming into this half inning, but Dylan Price has helped to change that with a 2-run homer to left. Right fielder Josh Walker, the batter. Josh is grounded out and struck out against the left-handed pitching Felix Cote, who plays for Acton Vale.
One of the top teams in the LBMQ. Won the playoff championship 2 years ago, and last year lost a heartbreaker 4-2 to the Cactus de Victoriaville.
This one eludes catcher Guillaume Moran, and Willow moves up 90 feet. And guess what? Things are now stirring down the first base side towards the bullpen for Quebec.
I can see already it's Acton Vale teammate lefty David Gauthier that's heading to the pen now for Team Quebec. He's going to hook up his band, do a little bit of stretching and start to get loose down there as Michel Dagenet joins him.
And Gauthier, the winning pitcher in the championship final last year in Tecumseh with a 7-inning shutout of the Regina Trappers. Fouled in that direction, in fact, by Josh Walker. His Team BC comprised primarily of Victoria Maverick players and players from right in Victoria and area. If you've never been to that city, I highly recommend it. What a beautiful spot.
Set screen. I got it.
Fouled off the plate here, and I'd assume Gautier's going to have to start getting hot quick here.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Still a 4-2 lead for Quebec, but things starting to unravel a little bit here for the blue and white.
Play.
Back in the day, if somebody was going to give me a Rawlings box, I would want it full, not empty. But in this case, I've never been happier to have an empty box.
Keeping Peter's iPad nice and cool up here, so
Yeah.
he's got all his stats and notes.
Yeah. That research, that big research team of mine.
Well, there we are on camera. We can say hi to everyone.
Play.
There it is, Clark.
There
Right
it is.
there. Look at it. It's a thing of beauty.
Ball.
Yeah, just about brings a tear to my eye. Josh Walker continues his at-bat, and we continue to have a great time on day one of this Canadian Senior Men's Championship. Peter Loubardias alongside Mr. Senior Baseball in Canada, Dan Esty.
That's the scary part. Day one, we got so much more of this left. I'm going to save some zingers for game 2 or days 2 and 3.
Glad you will give way. If you have ever wondered, and I know if you're just tuning in, what the wind will do, when that ball left the bat, it was right at the center fielder.
Yeah.
Look where this thing ends up.
Just keeps pushing and pushing left, and finally the left fielder, Lapointe, able to step in and make the catch. But yeah, that was, Raph Gladue does a pretty good job of covering some space out there in center field, but man, that one carried a ton.
Big jump, there goes Willow, and he'll steal it, and now he's going to score. Speed can hurt. It just did, and the Victoria Mavericks, Team BC, are back to within a run.
Where's the ball? Who's down? I got down.
Again, we talk about those plays that put some pressure on the defense, and big jump there at second base by the base runner Jason Willow, and he's able to steal that bag, and that errant throw out to left field allows him to come across with the third run of the game for Team BC. You get a look at it here on our replays. He makes his way across the plate.
A 2-run homer to draw within 2, and then they manufacture a run. And we have a game again in a big way. Saginowicz, the batter, hit by a pitch and then flew out to Moises Perez in left, or in right, pardon me. This one is fouled the other way. So how quickly things can change. 4-0, a 3 spot in the fourth. Look to put the 2-time reigning champions from Quebec in a driver's seat. Well, the pedal is still there to be stepped on, but the gas has been let off.
Absolutely.
Saginowicz tries to go the other way with the Cote pitch. Fouls it back.
Yeah, I'll take them out. I'll take those now.
Still to come, the host team.
Because at the end of the day, send 3 more.
2 times the Regina Trappers in a row have been to the final, only to be foiled by the team in blue on the field right now.
And both very tight games. One a walk-off in Red Deer, and the other one, as we said before, a 2-0 shutout from David Gauthier last year in Tecumseh.
Glad you. The outfield adventure continues here on day 1. And believe it or not, it's not as windy right now as it has been a great deal of the day. 3 Team BC runs, and we're in for a whale of a finish here in Regina. Fynn Chester returns to the pitching mound in a much different position, Dan, than when he left. He had left trailing 4-0, and now his team has battled right back into it and down by a run, and we have a scoring update from Optimist as well.
Yes, Fynn Chester back out to the mound. We do have a quick update from Optimist right now. They are still playing in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Team Alberta representatives, the Calgary Rockies, have cracked things open here. They currently lead that game over Team Ontario by a score of 6-2.
2 pools of 5 teams. Top 3 advance to the playoffs. The first place finisher after round robin play earns an automatic berth into a semifinal, which means you get the chance to play for a medal. Because there is a bronze medal game here. That'll be played Sunday, slated for 4 o'clock. Championship final, slated for 7. 10-1-4-7. That one etched in the memory bank. Fynn Chester high to Moises Perez, who's grounded into a double play, singled, and scored one of the 3 Quebec runs in the 4th. But their lead has been shaved to 1.
3-0 fastball there from Fynn Chester for strike 1. We'll see if we get a camera down there in a second, but we do have some action in the British Columbia bullpen. Left-hander getting warm down there, so we'll get you a name here in a second.
Quick glance, I thought it was 10.
I think you're right. Good eyes there, Peter. That's Ethan Dean. Left-hander getting loose here for Team British Columbia. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Here's Ethan getting loose.
Played for Lady Smith at the provincial championships, so he is one of their pickups.
We do have a visit here to the mound for Team British Columbia as the coach goes out to have a chat with the catcher, Jason Willow, the shortstop, and pitcher Fynn Chester.
Oh, pitch and change. All right.
That's going to be it for 44,
What you doing?
which is a tad surprising.
Yeah, okay, Ethan sees now that he's in. I don't think he was expecting that. As maybe Fynn gave him I'm out of gas for the coach, so he's going to make his way into the dugout and get some fist bumps from his teammates. Good job by him today.
Thank you.
Giving up the 4 runs in the 5+ innings that he threw.
So they hand the ball to Ethan Dean, pitched 3 2/3 innings for Lady Smith at the provincial championship recently. All 3 2/3 were against the Victoria Mavericks on
Go figure.
August 2nd. However, the outing did not go great. 6 runs, 9 hits, struck out 3, walked 1, but they saw enough to say, we need you as part of our arsenal at the Canadians.
And sometimes, it comes down to a bad day, and they know what he's capable of. Other times it comes down to the fact that you have a situational lefty you can use now in these situations where, if you look at the next few batters that are coming up for Team Quebec, you have Michel Dagenet, left-handed, Josue Pele, right-handed, but then Leonardo Ochoa, also left-handed. So a little bit of back and forth here, gamesmanship between the two teams as we're in the top of the 6th inning here with a 4-3 lead. Quebec over Team British Columbia.
Perez drawing a walk as we are trying to figure out who the reliever was. Is Ethan Dean just about completing his warm-up tosses. Played this fall and spring at Victoria Collegiate in the Canadian College Baseball Conference. Pretty good league, where he went 1-1 in 39 innings, a 3.00 earned run average, struck out 28 and walked 17.
Pretty good numbers for that. Very tough conference out there that they play in, some good baseball.
A lot of new teams coming in, too. I had not heard of Victoria Collegiate in that conference.
Which is good. That means the game's growing. Programs are getting involved in that stuff. That's excellent.
Is it ever? Michel Dagenet, the designated hitter in this game, is the catcher in the first game against Team Saskatchewan, which was a 4-3 loss. Now they're in front 4-3, but it was 4-0. Perez is on a leadoff walk in the first pitch from Dean, on its way and misses outside. And part of the thinking here, after just watching the warm-up, Dan, in one pitch, big difference in velocity, which can be difficult to adjust to.
Absolutely. You had someone that was throwing pretty hard with Fynn Chester there, and complete flip around now as we go from right side to left side, and hard fastball to, a little bit off this fastball. Certainly not as hard as Fynn Chester, not throwing slowly, but now teams have to adjust to this and see if they can get back into the groove again.
The thing in every one of these kind of competitions is depending on your league, who you face, the quality of competition in that league, it can be a big adjustment for some groups.
For sure.
And when I think about Quebec, which you're the expert, but I would have to think that's arguably as good a league in senior baseball as there is anywhere in our country, would it not be?
Absolutely. I mean, they have one of the best leagues, I would say, that's been put together, the 11 strong teams there, and just the makeup of the league itself. You know, I've watched a handful of games there, like I said, when I've been traveling to and from vacation, and, you know, everything is professional about it. Professional stadiums, setups, GMs, some of the stadiums have restaurants. You know, it's got a very good feel to it, and they do a very good job of appealing to fans that come out to those games as well.
Josue Pelly, the batter, the 37-year-old from Quebec City, after Dean walks Dagenet, and there's 2 on and nobody out. And Team BC had just earned some momentum with a 3 spot in the bottom of the 5th, but that could go away in a real hurry here.
Absolutely, and it doesn't take much. And again, we've seen this. You know, 1-0 turns into 4-0. 4-0 turns into 4-3 now, and both of these teams have shown.
Runners on the move, and look what pressure does. Gale's throw-out attempt sails into the outfield, and Moises Perez comes home on the air with the 5th Quebec run.
Pretty much a carbon copy of what happened last inning for Team British Columbia when they scored their 3rd run. We'll see here on the replay. That throw not even close as Perez slides in head first safely.
2 strikes.
Right back to his feet. Coach giving him the wave, and he's right back up and comes in to score easy with Quebec's 5th run of this game.
And Dagenet was on his way to second on a double steal to begin with, so that's where he finds himself. So walks and errors, always costly.
Absolutely. A tournament of this magnitude, they sometimes show up even more than usual.
A good enough block by Gale behind home plate to keep Dagenet at second. And the 28-year-old Dagenet, known more for power than probably
2-2.
the ability to scoot around on the bases.
Mm-hmm.
Pelly is 0 for 2 in the game. He reached on an error to third and scored in the 3-run 4th.
I got him. I'm ready going that way on the line, so.
And great job this afternoon by home plate umpire Scott Mills, who's also been mic'd up by IKS for this game.
Great little addition, and we thank everybody for saying yes. Pelly, trouble one more time for Keegan Lott at third, and on his way to second, sliding in safely, is Pelly. Heads up base running by number 12.
Yeah, good base running there. He's going to go back and trade up his gloves and stuff, but we'll see here on the replay. Good piece of hitting. Stings this one hard right at the third baseman. Takes a tough hop and right up his arm and into left field. Dagenet going to make his way to third, and Pelly rounded first and didn't even stop there as the left fielder just kind of tossed the ball into the shortstop. There's the cutoff, and Pelly slides into second safely.
Did not see if that was scored an error or a hit.
I would say on that play it's going to be an error on the third baseman for sure.
It's hit hard over there.
Absolutely.
And took a tough hop right before it found Keegan Lott. Leonardo Ochoa hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning and might have an opportunity here to put this game almost away with a hit.
Absolutely. And you never want to say never, but a 3 or a 4-1 lead here against Quebec late in this game, and that could be some trouble for Team BC. And
the new pitcher yet to record an out.
Joe was a big dude too. I saw him last night at the hotel. Just walking by him, and he's a big fella.
Yeah, not messing with him.
No.
Not today, tomorrow, the next day, or any day after that. The 35-year-old Leonardo Ochoa, who's gone deep in the game. A 2-run home run.
2-2.
Played for Canada in a WBSC Pan American qualifier in 2021. And Dean gets him out in front of an off-speed pitch. And that is a massive out.
Looks like a little bit of a change up there from Dean that had him out in front in his front foot. Unable to keep his hands back and show the first out here.
Alexandre Lapointe as Dean comes back in tight with a fastball. Infield in to try and cut off a 6-run, as you would expect in this situation. This so feels like the game. If you're Victoria, Team BC, and you manage to get through this inning without giving up anything else, well, still very much in the hunt. That's going to change the score. Lapointe up the middle. It's going to score a couple. 7-3 Quebec as Alexandre Lapointe has his first hit of the Canadian Championships, and it drives in 2 important runs.
Nice piece of hitting there. Almost caught the pitcher, Ethan Dean, in the foot, as we're going to see here in the replay. Stays with that ball right back up the middle into center field. And that brings across Michel Dagenet as well as Josue Pele. Just like that, a 4-run lead again for Team Quebec as they lead this game now 7-3.
The defending champions, 2-time in fact, looking to even the round-robin record at 1-1, and Guillaume Morin delivers a base hit. And Guillaume has his first hit here in Regina.
Again, jumps on that first pitch from lefty Ethan Dean, and it's a good piece of that one. Solid line drive into left field. Puts runners at first and second now for Team Quebec with 1 out still.
So Quebec gives up a 3 spot and then says, that's okay. We'll get 3 of our own, at least.
Looks like we do have some more action down in the British Columbia bullpen.
Ryan Bauwart, the batter, plays for Cote.
Another one of those young players on Team Quebec this year, that someone you think that's probably going to be around for a few years on this team.
Just 24 years of age. Hitting .383 back home.
3-0.
Driven in 19 runs. Played university baseball at Concordia University in Montreal.
So you just had a quick peek at the Team BC pitcher getting loose in the pen. That's number 9, Mason Chamberlain. Right-hander getting hot down there in a hurry.
Well, Fynn Chester was removed earlier in the inning. Bauwart.
No tag, I'm staying here.
Nick Lee has probably had more balls to deal with in this game in left field than he might have had in the last month.
And the thing about it is that probably half of them should have been caught by the center fielder.
So true. So true. Pinch hitter, Raphael LeBlanc's going to come into the game.
Got it up there.
To hit for Jonathan Martin. Raphael participated in the majority of the game against Team Saskatchewan.
Ball outside.
As Dean misses out with a breaking ball away. So Quebec with 3 big ones here in the 6th and trying to add more. And if this guy gets into one, might go halfway to Cucamonga.
And he's gotten into a few this year for sure. Has been one of the bigger hitters in the Quebec League this year for Victoriaville.
7 home runs, 31 runs batted in for LeBlanc from Shawinigan.
Time! Yeah.
Time called.
You have a quick break here. We can update you at the game at Optimus right now. Team Alberta continuing to tack on there as they lead that game 9-2 now. Team Alberta back to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning of that one over Team Ontario. What was a close game there, pretty much broken open now. Team Ontario already 0-1. Team Alberta playing their first game of the tournament.
So the Leaside Leafs, who won the Ontario Elimination Tournament that ended on August the 4th, very much in danger of starting the Canadian Senior Championship with 2 straight losses. But Dan, you spent a lot of time in and around that league, and what an accomplishment for that group just to get here.
Absolutely, and I talked about it on my podcast as that one popped up in the infield, and there's that wind again.
Saginowicz takes care of it.
So we'll get back to that story after the break.
3 more for Quebec, and the defending 2-time champs lead it by 4 heading to the bottom of the 6th. Felix Cote's afternoon is over after he pitches 5 innings, gives up 3 runs. And into the game comes a star of last year's championship final in Tecumseh, Ontario, a complete game shutout in the gold medal game for David Goche. And the 28-year-old left-hander from Saint-Julie enters the 2025 Canadians. And I know, Dan, you have seen plenty of this gentleman.
Yes, sir. David Gauthier, probably one of the stronger pitchers on this Team Quebec club. Throws from the left side, plays his league play for Acton Vale. And certainly, like I said, the last couple of years has been a huge pest to a few teams of this tournament.
And good movement on the first pitch that eludes third baseman Keegan Lott.
Time.
With Acton Vale in league play, Goche is 6-1, a 1.78 earned run average and 39 1/3. Struck out 59, but here's maybe as impressive a number for me as any of, and they're all impressive, has walked 3.
Yeah, that's impressive. His control is really, really good.
which means he's going to walk this batter. He's not a bad hitter back home either. He's hitting .298. He looks to be the type of guy that'll work all four quadrants of home plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's up, down, left, right. Good movement on his off-speed stuff. Above average fastball for sure.
Pitched 10 2/3 in total last year in Tecumseh. Gave up 2 runs on 13 hits. Struck out 12 and walked a couple. And begins with a strikeout here in Regina. Always interested to see how coaches and managers set up their pitching in events like this one.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. I asked that question a lot when I was on the air for my podcast with a lot of the teams that I talked to, and different teams have different mentalities on that. Some roll with their guy because they know they want them to bounce back later in the tournament. Others have a structured setup for teams that they know they want that guy to face. So definitely different in all aspects there for sure.
Good swing by Nick Lee, who's been beyond busy in left field.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I do want to make mention that I just had a message sent to me, and I did repaste it on my Facebook page, on the CABC Facebook page. Chuck Grady has found out a way to make sure that everyone has access to the live stream. If you're having issues with it, he created a YouTube short with instructions on how to make sure that it works. So if you're having issues and you've purchased the stream, I know there's been a lot of frustration with this today. I promise you I've been reading all the messages. There's just not much I can do. Have a look at that short video, and I think that will help you because he's able to now watch it on multiple devices as well. So have a peek there, and hopefully it works out for everyone.
Another strikeout for Goche as he gets Nick Lee swinging. And now faces second baseman Jeremy Campbell, who made a whale of a defensive play earlier in the game. He's walked and grounded out. Contact. Back goes Ochoa. Calls for it and takes care of business. A tidy 1-2-3 for David Goche in his first inning of work here in Regina, the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. Third pitcher to work for Team BC, comprised mostly of the Victoria Mavericks. Mason Chamberlain, the 24-year-old who comes in. And I believe that this Mason Chamberlain has spent time this year with the Edmonton Riverhawks. He certainly did not compete in the BC Provincials for any of the teams.
No, I didn't. I had a quick peek through that too, Peter. I didn't see his name there either. So, yeah, I think predominantly his season spent with Edmonton.
I wondered if you would be eligible, to be frank, if you played there. I know this guy is eligible, the batter. He's been playing this event many times, a champion in 2023, although he did not participate last year in Tecumseh, Raphael Gladue, who's 1 for 3 in this game and 2 for 6 on day one of the tournament. Quebec coming off a 4-3 loss versus Saskatchewan in the opener. Nick Lee's not going to get to this one. The tail's away from him, and Gladue has his second double of the competition.
Time.
I'll tell you, we'll go back and have a look at this here on the replay, but what a nice swing from Gladue, and you can tell, it takes a pitch deep, sees it deep, keeps those hands back, and rips that one down left field. And with that tough wind that's been going here today, the left fielder, Nick Lee, didn't have a chance to get into that one as it continued to tail away from him, and that's a stand-up double for Gladue to lead things off here in the top of the 7th inning.
Nick Lee's going to sleep well tonight.
He's been a busy guy out there, that's for sure.
He's had one of the busiest left field games I have ever witnessed, maybe in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see if the DoubleTree has a hot tub. He might be using it tonight.
Either that or the cold tub. Moises Perez, the batter, he's off to a great beginning here. Singled today, walked and scored in a 3-run sixth as Quebec responds, and back towards Lee. This is going to go. Moises Perez just ordered at the drive-through window. He said, "Can we get that to go?"
Good piece of hitting there by Perez. That one, an absolute no-doubter. He gets all of that one, just drives it to the right of the scoreboard out there in left field, and that Quebec lead continues to grow now, 9-3.
Wind or no wind, I know where that one was going to end up the minute it left the bat.
We get a look here on our replay, and that's well over the fence in left field.
Well, Moises had 4 home runs at last year's Canadian Championships. He has his first of 2025, and it was a no-doubter that Nick Lee could only watch leave the yard. But still in his direction.
Mm-hmm. Another guy that knows a little bit about home runs, Michel Dagenet, steps in now.
What do you mean? He's only got 14 this year in the league, which I think is at least 4 more than anyone else.
Yeah, he's had a very strong year for the Brock in Drummondville.
Hit 3 home runs, by the way, at last year's Canadian Championship.
3-0.
Has the oddest infield double that you'll ever see in this game. Grounded to second and then walked and scored his last time in the 6th. As Quebec up 4-0, only to have BC come back with 3, have absolutely blown the doors off here the last couple innings as they look to even the round-robin record at 1-1. And Chamberlain has not been greeted kindly.
No. Quebec, like I said, all it takes is one guy getting a hit, and the Quebec team, they just feed off each other here. We'll have a look at this one as fastball to Dagenet hit back up the middle. That one's going to find its way into right center field, and Quebec with a runner back on first here.
And still no one out. 2 runs in on the 2-run blast off the bat of Moises Perez, which is also a very good baseball name.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a tough day for Keegan Lott over there at third.
That one just sneaks under the backhand there and into left field. That one will be ruled an error.
Yeah, I always feel for infielders. Maybe that's because I was one 150 years ago. And when you're having a tough day, it just seems to find you, whether you want it to or not.
Absolutely. And Keegan will bounce back for sure. And he's got a strong team here with him. I'm sure he'll pick him up too. So
absolutely. Leonardo Ochoa hit a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. 1 for 3 in the game, 2 for 6 in the tournament, with a home run and a couple of runs batted in. The Quebec League leader in runs batted in with 39. Still one great game to come today.
Ball.
And we hope that the locals will pour in to watch the Regina Trappers, the hosts of this event, who've done such a marvelous job putting this tournament together. Will take on a very good team from Nova Scotia, primarily made up of players from, and I love the name, the Dartmouth Dry. They have great jerseys, too.
They do. The nice big calligraphy D.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them were on my flight yesterday into Regina. And a balk for Chamberlain. And the game's starting to drag out a little bit.
2-2. Play.
Got pretty exciting at 4-3. But then Quebec said enough of that.
Just had a peek there. It just looked like he might have looked to start his motion there and then kind of stopped up. And umpire Steve Cochran had a look at that, so immediately called the balk.
Play.
You ever umpired baseball at all?
No, my dad did for close to 30 years. And I was more of a basketball guy, so.
Yeah. The gentleman beside me officiates high level basketball. A lot of university work. Every time I reach out to him the last few weeks, he's refereeing another game. That's a base hit. It eats up Saginowicz, and Ochoa has another hit and another run batted in. And make it 10-3, Quebec. And we're still looking for the first out of the 7th.
You knew after the job that Rhett Fesser did this morning with Team Quebec that these Quebec bats were going to be eager to get going, and they've certainly woken up in a big way here in this game.
Well, to his credit, Fynn Chester gave them some really good innings. And
absolutely.
Things have not gone overly well since he was removed from the game. Even though I think he probably, final line score would have been given credit for 6 of the runs. There's 1, should be 2, but the throw gets away as Jason Willow's throw unable to be handled by Nick Saginowicz, who had really no chance to make the play. And another run has crossed home plate.
So we get a look at it here. Good shovel to shortstop. Willow throws on to first, but first baseman Saginowicz unable to hold on to that one, and Alexandre Lapointe going to reach on the fielder's choice, and the score now 11-3 for Team Quebec.
Ball.
3 in the 4th, 3 in the 6th, and 4 more so far in the 7th. A very crucial round-robin game, a rematch from a year ago.
Inside.
That Dartmouth won in Tecumseh. They beat the Regina Trappers.
They did. For anyone that follows my website, you've noticed the top 10 rankings I've been putting out, and these two clubs
Hit by pitch.
have been alternating back and forth, first and second. Regina held that post for a few weeks, and just recently in our last ones, the Dartmouth Dry overtook that top spot. Should be a great baseball game tonight.
Slated to begin at 7. Guillaume Morin was unhappy, hit by the pitch of Mason Chamberlain, who
All right, here we go, boys.
has yet to really find his way. Came into the game in the 6th. As I see below me, a number of Dartmouth Dry members have made their way into the park.
Play.
Hopefully the wind settles a little, which can happen at night.
Oh.
More wind in the forecast for tomorrow. And again, slightly cooler in temperature. Today about 24 degrees. Ball work. That's fouled.
You do see those flags slowing out a little bit out in right center field. Not as much as they were before, but still a pretty good wind going on out there.
Ballward wants his first hit. Well, there's an interesting out. Always stay with the ball off Saginowicz
Well, you got an out of that.
to the pitcher to short. Don't see a lot of 3-1-6s in your scorebook, but we just had one. Boward yet to record his first hit. He's at first on the fielder's choice. Could potentially end the inning, but not an easy play. Willow goes way back to bring it in. 4 more for the two-time defending champions from Quebec. And they lead Team BC now by 8. Three in the 6th, 4 more in the 7th have Quebec comfortably in front of Team BC. Team BC in their opener of the competition, down now by 8. It was quite interesting for a long time, especially after they cut the Quebec lead from 4-0 to 4-3. But it was very short-lived, and we have a final in now from Optimist.
Yes, we do. Final score over there, popping up on my computer right now. It is Team Alberta who defeats Team Ontario number 1 by a score of 9-2 in that game. Just having a quick look at the box score here. Curtis Smith, the winning pitcher in that game, goes 5 innings, giving up 2 runs, both earned on 7 hits. Losing pitcher for Team Ontario is left-hander Taylor Papin.
Sinclair Lee, the pinch hitter, against the new pitcher, as LeBlanc does well to snare that. And flip over to the new pitcher, 26-year-old Nathan Landry from Trois-Rivières, who was a 15-round pick of the Boston Red Sox in 2022. He plays for Victoriaville and was a one-time Missouri Tiger in the NCAA Division I school. He would have been picked earlier by Boston than 2022. Another lefty. 3 consecutive lefties in the game for Quebec. Cote 5, Gauthier 1, now Landry.
Just a reminder to fans to stick around afterwards, as we'll have some post-game interviews with the winning team.
Good communication. As I believe that's still Alexandra Lapointe.
It is.
Lapointe had a big hit in the 6th.
Big 2-run single that kind of helped propel the middle part of this game for Quebec to get them rolling. We get a look at him here on camera.
This Team BC down to their final out. Little work for Landry. Pitches for Victoriaville. Thrown 20 innings this year. 1-0 with 2 saves. Control for him has been at a premium, at least numbers-wise. 17 strikeouts, 27 walks. Which is interesting because in his final year at Missouri, he struck out 54 and walked 7. This will test Ochoa, who can't quite get to it. Great range by the 35-year-old second baseman, but just out of his reach is a base hit for Jon Gale.
We'll get a look at it here on the replay. Big swing there from Jon Gale, and Ochoa makes his way back and just out of the reach of the Quebec second baseman. So BC remains alive here with 2 outs, and the shortstop Willow going to make his way up now.
Jason Willow. 0 for 2 with a walk and scored a run. Jon Gale, by the way, 2 for 3 now in the game. Been on base 3 times. He also drew a walk.
All right. I feel you.
I think this Team British Columbia side, I think they'll give everybody a bit of a handful before it's all said and done, if there's enough pitching.
That's always the biggest thing is these tournaments. I mean, you can have all the offense in the world, but, you know, you have to have enough arms to be able to get through the round-robin plays. That one's dropped to third.
Pelly. Game, set,
You bet. Good job.
match. Quebec evens their record at 1-1 as they pull away late to beat Team BC. 11-3 is the final as the 2-time defending champs have 1 win and a good bounce back after